In today's world, the opinions of others have become one of the heaviest chains we carry. We scroll through social media and compare our lives to carefully curated highlights. We hesitate to speak our truth because we fear judgment. We change our plans, our style, our dreams, and even our values just to avoid disapproval. The fear of what others think silently controls our decisions, drains our confidence, and keeps us trapped in a prison of our own making. If you are watching this right now, there is a very good chance that the need for approval is costing you your freedom. You know deep down what you want to do, who you want to become, and how you want to live, yet you hold back because you worry about what other people will say or think. The good news is that this is not a permanent condition. Over 2,000 years ago, Epictetus, a former slave who became one of the most respected Stoic philosophers, discovered a powerful formula for true freedom. He taught that the opinions of others have no power over you unless you give it to them. In this video, we are going to explore Epictetus' freedom formula in depth. We will break down exactly why we care so much about what others think, how this habit creates unnecessary suffering, and most importantly, the practical Stoic techniques you can start using today to break free from the prison of other people's opinions. By the end of this video, you will have a clear, actionable system to stop caring what others think and start living with authentic confidence and inner peace. This is not about becoming cold or arrogant. It is about reclaiming your mental freedom so you can become the strongest, most authentic version of yourself. Let us begin by understanding the root cause of why other people's opinions have such a powerful grip on us. The reason we care so much about what others think is deeply rooted in our need for belonging and survival. For most of human history, being accepted by the group meant safety, resources, and protection. Being rejected by the tribe could literally mean death. Although we no longer live in small hunter-gatherer groups, our brains still carry this ancient wiring. When someone disapproves of us, criticizes us, or rejects us, our nervous system interprets it as a threat to our survival. This triggers the same stress response that our ancestors felt when facing real danger. The modern version of this threat shows up as social anxiety, people-pleasing, fear of speaking up, and constantly shaping our behavior to fit what we think others want. Epictetus saw this pattern clearly even in ancient Rome. He taught that we suffer not because of what others think, but because we assign too much importance to their opinions. He made a radical distinction: other people's judgments are not up to us. They belong to them. What is up to us is how we interpret those judgments, and whether we allow them to control our emotions and actions. When you truly internalize this distinction, a profound shift begins. You stop handing over your peace of mind to every comment, every look, and every unspoken expectation. You begin to ask a much more empowering question. Is this opinion something I can control? The honest answer is almost always no. Other people's thoughts, feelings, and judgments are outside your control. The moment you accept this truth, you take the first major step toward freedom. Marcus Aurelius reinforced this idea when he wrote that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts are constantly preoccupied with winning approval or avoiding disapproval, your life will feel anxious and constrained. When your thoughts are anchored in your own values and character, your life becomes steady and free. This is the foundation of Epictetus' freedom formula. It is not about ignoring all feedback or becoming indifferent to others. It is about refusing to let other people's opinions become the primary driver of your self-worth and daily decisions. The first practical step in Epictetus' freedom formula is to clearly separate what is up to you from what is not up to you. Every time you catch yourself worrying about what someone thinks, pause and ask, is this person's opinion something I can control? The answer is almost always no. Their thoughts belong to them. Their approval or disapproval is outside your sphere of control. What is up to you is your own effort, your own integrity, your own response, and the standards you choose to live by. When you make this distinction repeatedly, something powerful happens. You stop giving emotional energy to uncontrollable things. You redirect that energy toward building your character and living according to your own values. Epictetus, who lived as a slave and later as a respected teacher, used this principle to maintain his dignity no matter how others treated him. He knew that his master could control his body, but he could not control Epictetus' mind and judgments. You have the same power today. No one can force you to feel inferior without your consent. No comment, no rejection, no silent judgment has the power to diminish you unless you agree to let it. This realization is incredibly liberating. It frees you from the exhausting game of people-pleasing and constant impression management. You begin to make decisions based on what is right for you rather than what you think will win approval. You speak more honestly. You pursue goals that truly matter to you. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into other people's expectations. This single practice, when applied consistently, can dramatically reduce social anxiety and restore a deep sense of inner freedom. The second key practice in Epictetus' freedom formula is to consciously choose your own standards instead of adopting other people's standards. Most of us unconsciously measure our worth by external benchmarks. How many likes we get, how successful we appear, how attractive others find us, how much money we make. When we fail to meet these external standards, we feel like failures. Epictetus taught that true freedom comes when you stop using other people's measuring sticks and start using your own. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to be? What values do I want to live by? What standards am I committed to, regardless of whether others approve? When your self-worth is anchored in living according to your own virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control, other people's opinions lose their power to shake you. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. He reminded himself that his worth came from acting with integrity, not from being praised by the crowd. You can do the same. The next time you feel anxious about what others think, pause and ask, am I doing this to live according to my values, or am I doing this to win approval? If the honest answer is approval-seeking, gently redirect your focus back to your own standards. This practice builds quiet confidence that does not depend on external validation. It allows you to take risks, speak your truth, and live authentically even when it makes others uncomfortable. Over time, you will notice that the people who truly respect you are the ones who respect you for who you are, not for how well you perform for them. The third practice is the deliberate cultivation of indifference to external opinions while remaining open to useful feedback. Epictetus did not advise complete isolation from society. He taught discernment. Some feedback is useful and should be considered. Most opinions, however, are simply noise. They reflect the other person's biases, insecurities, and limited perspective rather than any objective truth about you. The Stoic skill is to listen without becoming emotionally hooked. When someone criticizes you, pause and ask, is this feedback coming from wisdom and goodwill, or is it coming from their own issues? If it is useful, take what serves your growth and let the rest go. If it is not useful, release it without letting it rent space in your mind. This discernment protects your peace while still allowing you to grow. Seneca and Marcus Aurelius both faced harsh public criticism, yet they did not let it derail their character or their purpose. They evaluated feedback calmly and continued acting according to their own principles. You can develop the same skill. The more you practice this calm discernment, the less power random opinions will have over your emotional state. You will begin to live with a quiet confidence that comes from knowing your worth is internal, not external. The fourth practice is to focus relentlessly on virtue as the highest good. Epictetus taught that the only true good is virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Everything else, reputation, approval, success, wealth, is indifferent. When you make virtue your primary concern, other people's opinions naturally lose their grip. You stop obsessing over whether you are liked and start focusing on whether you are acting with integrity. This shift is profoundly freeing. Your self-worth is no longer on auction every time someone looks at you sideways. It is anchored in something stable and internal. Marcus Aurelius lived this principle while facing constant political pressure and public scrutiny. He reminded himself daily to act with justice and wisdom regardless of whether his actions were popular. You can adopt the same standard. The next time you feel tempted to change your behavior to win approval, ask yourself, is this action aligned with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control? If the answer is no, gently choose the virtuous path instead. Over time, this practice builds authentic confidence that does not depend on the approval of others. You become someone who is guided by internal principles rather than external noise. The fifth practice is the deliberate use of silence and solitude to strengthen your inner voice. Overthinking what others think thrives in constant noise and social media. The Stoics valued silence as the space where wisdom grows. When you create regular pockets of quiet time, even 10 or 15 minutes a day without distractions, you begin to hear your own thoughts more clearly. You start to distinguish between your authentic desires and the voices of external expectations. Epictetus encouraged his students to spend time in reflection and self-examination. In that quiet space, the grip of other people's opinions naturally weakens. You reconnect with your own values and purpose. In our modern world, this practice is revolutionary. Try turning off notifications for 1 hour each day and sitting with your own thoughts. At first, it may feel uncomfortable. With practice, it becomes a refuge. You will notice that the urge to seek approval diminishes when you are no longer constantly exposed to other people's curated lives. Silence strengthens your inner compass and reduces the mental noise that fuels people-pleasing and self-doubt. The sixth practice is to consciously practice self-respect in small daily actions. Every time you choose to speak your truth instead of staying silent, every time you say no to something that violates your values, every time you keep a promise to yourself instead of breaking it to please others, you are strengthening your self-respect. Epictetus taught that we must guard our own dignity as our most precious possession. When you consistently choose self-respect over approval-seeking, you send a powerful message to your own mind. My worth is not negotiable. This consistent practice gradually rewires your nervous system. You stop feeling anxious about disapproval because your self-respect is no longer dependent on external validation. Marcus Aurelius practiced this by holding himself to high standards even when it was unpopular. You can do the same in everyday situations. Choose honesty over people-pleasing. Choose courage over comfort. Choose integrity over popularity. Each small choice builds the inner strength that makes you less affected by what others think. The seventh and final practice in Epictetus' freedom formula is to remember that your life is your own. Other people will always have opinions. Some will approve, some will criticize, some will be indifferent. That is their right. Your right is to live your one precious life according to your own values and purpose. Epictetus reminded his students that we are not here to win popularity contests. We are here to live with wisdom and virtue. When you fully accept this truth, the opinions of others lose their power to control you. You become free to pursue meaningful goals, speak your truth, and become the person you are capable of being. This freedom is the ultimate gift of Stoic philosophy. It does not come overnight. It comes through consistent, daily practice of the principles we have covered. Start small. Choose one practice today and apply it in one situation where you would normally care too much about what others think. Over time, these small choices compound into genuine inner freedom. To help you implement Epictetus' freedom formula, here is a practical 30-day challenge. For the first 10 days, focus on the dichotomy of control and asking, "Is this opinion up to me?" For the next 10 days, work with virtue as the highest good and self-respect in daily actions. For the final 10 days, practice silence, reflection, and remembering that your life is your own. Keep a short daily note recording what you practiced and what shifted in your emotional state. At the end of 30 days, you will have taken significant steps toward breaking free from the prison of other people's opinions. You will feel lighter, clearer, and more authentically yourself. The opinions of others will still exist, but they will no longer control your peace or your decisions. This is the freedom Epictetus fought for and generously shared with the world. You now have the tools to claim that same freedom for yourself. Thank you for watching this video. If Epictetus' freedom formula resonated with you, please hit the like button. Subscribe to Rise as a Stoic and turn on notifications for more practical Stoic lessons on mental freedom and self-mastery. In the comments, share one situation where you currently care too much about what others think and one small action you are committing to take this week. I read every comment, and I am rooting for your growth. In the next video, we will explore Stoic rules for handling rejection and heartbreak in relationships. Until then, remember, your mind is yours. Your life is yours. Guard them both with wisdom and courage. Keep rising. I will see you in the next lesson.